The 2016 Annual General Meeting is now called to order. I'd like to welcome everyone here to Cornwall to the NAV Centre. Kathy Henderson, Curling Canada's CEO, will now read out the notice of meeting and proof of mailing, as well as report on credentials of delegates and meeting quorum.
On April 28, 2016, a notice of meeting for the 2016 National Curling Congress and Annual General Meeting was emailed to the Board of Governors, Member Association Presidents, Member Association Executive Directors, affiliate organizations, national staff, Ian Dalling, Senior Program Officer with Sport Canada, Joe Waddy of Collins Barrow, and Parliamentarian Steve Indig. I can confirm there are 38 votes accounted for at this meeting, which includes the proxy submitted by Nunavut Curling Association. A simple majority, therefore, is 20 votes.
Thanks, Kathy. Our next item in the agenda is the election of governors to Curling Canada Board of Governors.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for the scrutineers in this particular session. It is my pleasure to announce that Angela Hodgkin is declared the new female governor for Curling Canada Board of Governors for a 4-year term. It is my pleasure to announce John Shea is declared the new male governor on the Curling Canada Board of Governors for a period of 4 years.
As we do each year at our AGM, please rise as we observe a moment of silence for the deceased members of our curling fraternity. Thank you. Next, we'll go on to the approval of the agenda. Are there any other items we want to add to the agenda? Seeing none, can I have a mover and a seconder for the approval of the agenda, please? Patricia from Saskatchewan, Sam from Manitoba. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. We will now proceed with the business arising from our National Curling Congress. These are the notices of motion you passed at the NCC business session that are brought forward to the AGM as motions. I will now have Kathy Henderson, Curling Canada CEO, read each of the motions before we vote on it. Please direct your attention to the screen.
Motion 1, Curling Registration and Management System. Be it resolved that Curling Registration and Management System pilot program originally scheduled to take place during the 2015-2016 season be extended to include the 2016-2017 season. The Curling Registration and Management System implementation would therefore take place in the 2017-2018 season following the 2016-2017 pilot review.
Can I have a mover, please? Scott Braley, Curl BC. Harry Damon, second from Nova Scotia. Is there any discussion? We'll call for the question. All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried.
Motion number 2, Mixed Doubles Championship. Be it resolved that the Canadian Mixed Doubles Championship continue to be held in the 2016-2017 and 2017-2018 curling seasons, and further, that this event not be subject to competitor fees applicable to other championships.
Can I have a mover? Angela Hodgkin, Curl, or PEI. Cheryl from NWT, second. Is there any discussion? Call for the question. All in favor? Anyone opposed? That's carried.
Motion 3, Change in Age at Canadian Seniors. Be it resolved that the age eligibility for the Canadian seniors be changed from 50 years of age and over as of December 31st of the prior year to 50 years of age and older as of and including June 30th of the year prior to the Canadian Senior Championships. The age eligibility will be in effect for the 2017 Canadian Seniors and onwards. Therefore, athletes eligible for the 2017 Canadian Seniors will have to be born on or before June 30th, 1966.
Can I have a mover of that motion, please? Laura, Yukon, and second Serge Brazeau, Quebec. Is there any discussion? Call for the question. All in favor? Is there anyone opposed? That's carried.
Motion 4, Curling Canada Bylaws and Constitution. Be it resolved that following a presentation by the Constitution Review Committee, CRC, and discussion with member associations at the March 2016 governance meeting, and following a presentation by the Constitution Review Committee, CRC, and discussion with member associations at the 2016 National Curling Congress, any amendment to the Curling Canada bylaws endorsed by the membership be approved.
Can I have a mover on that, please? Mike Shesky in Northern Ontario, Paul Addison, second from Curl BC. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Is there anyone opposed? That's carried.
Motion 5, establishment of a Canadian Under-18 Championship. Be it resolved that Curling Canada operate and manage a Canadian Under-18 Championship commencing in the 2016-2017 season.
Can I have a mover on that, please? John Shea, Ontario. Second, Jean Lemaire, Quebec. Is there any discussion? Matt?
Yeah, Manitoba supports the motion with the understanding that the attached funding model will be reviewed and possibly amended in consultation with the MAs.
Any further discussion? We'll call for the question. All in favor? Anyone opposed? The motion is carried.
Motion 6, new format for the Brier and Scotties. Be it resolved that the format of play presented for the Canadian Men Brier and Canadian Women Scotties Curling Championships be approved for the implementation commencing in the 2017-2018 season.
Can I have a mover, please? Alan Johnson, Yukon. Janie Hobart, second from NWT. Is there any discussion? No discussion. We'll call for the question. All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Okay, next we have some presentations. I'm going to call upon Governor Scott Comfort, Chair of the Awards and Hall of Fame Committee. Please come forward, Scott, to handle this portion of our agenda.
As Chair of the Awards and Hall of Fame Committee, I'm tasked with doing this awards portion. So for the first one, I'd like to call on Ron Hutton to give away the MA Cup.
Thank you, Scott. The Travelers MA Cup, presented by TSN, is an award each year based on provincial territorial ranking system to measure MA performance at all of the Curling Canada's operated and sanctioned national curling championships. Member associations will be ranked by its team final position following 8 annual Canadian championships. They are the Canadian Mixed, the Canadian Junior, Men's and Women's, the Scotties Tournament of Hearts, Tim Hortons Brier, Canadian Senior Men's and Women, Canadian Wheelchair, and the winner, little drum roll, Alberta. Could you please come forward, Brenda and Joan?
The next award is the Governor's Cup, so I will call on Chair Hugh Avery.
I didn't get a speech like Ron had, but I know it's for the greatest improvement from last year's results compared to this year. And, well, I just got to say it, whoop whoop, Nova Scotia. Each year, one of the things we do is we recognize the vice chair for the efforts that they put forward, the extra efforts they put forward, and we award them each year with a watch from Curling Canada. So I have a great deal of pleasure to present this year this present to one of my closest friends now, Peter Inch.
And now, next thing we're going to do is honor the governors that are leaving us. So, Lena, I call on you for the first one.
Thank you very much, Scott. Cindy Maddock. I would say she is the model governor on the Board of Governors. She is dedicated, enthusiastic, and professional. Her strengths are really asking that tough question. I think she read LeBlanc's theory a long time ago. She steps up when needed and does not ask if it's too much on her plate. She does the work with her whole heart. Privileged to have known her for 3 years, I do recognize her and stand behind her as a strong mentor for any board member. You are part of our family, part of the Board of Governors, part of the curling family. You will always be part of that family. And I know you are only a phone call away. I know we will miss you, but I'm sure we will never lose contact with you. Please come up and accept your gift. There it is. Never mind.
This next award is given to a past chair leaving the board. It's a lovely print, as you see over there. So Shirley, I'd like to call you up to give.
This gives me great pleasure. It gives me sort of a fuzzy feeling in the belly because I know that this man holds his breath every time I open my mouth. So, no, this man, this individual, this human being, first and foremost is a dear, dear friend of mine. And, but I'll be careful with my words. I'll save those other ones in private, okay? He's been my mentor for the 4 years I've been on the board. Last night he made a comment that I was the only individual who was allowed to give him a kick in the butt. He has been an individual who has been there for me every minute of my 4 years, and for that I thank you. He's been there for us, not only the board, but us as an organization for his 6 years on the board, but in particular for the last year and a half. It's kind of hard to be here. I'm like he. I try not to shed any tears. I'm the mother bear, the grandmother, whatever, of the organization, so I have to set an example for the other 9 members. So in doing that, I do kick quite a few butts around the table from time to time. So when I leave next year, I'm assuming that maybe it will pass for Kathy, or it might pass to Grandfather Resby to take care of the rest of the board. Okay. And so with that, it is great pleasure for me to present to, no, I'm giving the print, to Mr. Avery.
I'll call Peter up to give you another gift, his governor's ring.
I'm just got some short words to say about Hugh. And I think all of us in this room will agree with these words. Leader, friend, mentor, solution maker, and one great chair/governor. It's been a pleasure to serve with you for my 3 years, 2.5 years you've been my chair. You're somebody that will be number one on the speed dial. Thank you.
This next one is a bit of a surprise to the individual receiving the award, and I delegated the responsibility of giving the award out to Ron, so I'll let him surprise everybody.
The Board of Governors Special Recognition Award. The criteria is awarded to an individual or an organization whose unique contributions and/or achievements significantly impact the sport of curling in Canada. It was nominated by the Curling Canada Awards Committee, and the person is Hugh Avery. Hugh Avery served as chair of Curling Canada's Board of Governors from 2013 to 2014 season, and per the bylaws served as chair again for the final months of 2014 and 2015 season, when the elected chair stepped aside. Having completed his term on the board, Hugh could have moved on, and rightly so. Been there, done that. 5 years, a long time. Your personal life is Curling Canada. But instead of that, Hugh was persuaded by his colleagues and member associations to come back another year and be chair. It is an indication of the special respect that Hugh has earned that he is only the third person to serve an extended term as chair and president, going back to the establishment of the Dominion Curling Association in 1935. The inaugural president, Senator John Haig, served as president from 35 to 38. Dr. Eddie Steeves served as president in 89 and 90, and again in 90 and 91 with the amalgamation of our associations together. It is also noted that a special circumstance existed in 42-43 called the war, and President George Norgan was president from 43 to 46. There were also no repeat chair or president of the Canadian Ladies Curling Association between 1960 and 1990. During his 2+ years as Curling Canada chair, and especially during the time frame from approximately March of 2015, Hugh's leadership has been essential in helping the Board of Governors navigate through innumerable challenges, and he has done it in a way that has built the confidence and competency of the board. Some of the key issues Hugh has provided important leadership. Leading the board through a transition period from our former CEO to our new CEO, including working with the interim CEO to provide strong board leadership and new lines of communication with senior staff during that time frame. Leading the CEO search activity and the ultimate hiring of our new CEO, Kathy Henderson. Leading the board in the reestablishment of a relationship with the former senior event manager contractor. Leading the board through the issues related to the 3 board resignations in the previous year and the resulting challenges of having 3 new governors and 2 partial terms join the 5 returning governors. He's good at recruiting. Leading the board in efforts to reestablish relationships and positive lines of communication with the member associations. Leading the board through considerable concern about the financial viability of several of our events selections for 2015 and 2016. The award criteria state that the individual should have significantly impacted the sport of curling in Canada. The awards committee suggests that honoring Hugh Avery with the Board of Governors Special Recognition Award meets that standards. During nearly a 2-year period, Hugh's impact on the sport has been significant because his steady, guiding hand has kept the Board of Governors on course when turmoil, could have led to deterioration in relationships with our member associations, staff, and curlers, which could have become the focus of attention for several years to come. Think about that. Instead, under Hugh's leadership, the organization has come through the period in a positive fashion and is set to make next steps forward as we look to a very positive future. What a course he has put us on. Hugh led the Board of Governors with exemplary patience and professionalism through those major changes. While details of many of the above identified issues cannot be published, boy, would I like to tell you, by reason of the Board of Governors Code of Confidentiality, suffice to say, each had multiple layers. Each required the hands-on leadership of the chair, adding significantly to the time commitment required in addition to the normal duties of a Curling Canada chair. I really don't know when he worked for the guy that paid him. This was accomplished at the same time as Hugh dealt with the personal and professional challenges of a significant career change, a factor which only his closest friends were aware of until it had been accomplished. In the end of the year message to Hugh Avery, the members of the Board of Governors have expressed to him both their appreciation and their admiration for the leadership he has provided. Hugh Avery's impact on the board as a group, on the governors and individuals, and on the sport of curling has been real and will be recognized long into the future. We didn't know Hugh Avery 6 years ago. We know Hugh Avery now. Hugh, please come forward.
Thanks, Ron, and thanks, Hugh. At this time, I'll turn it back to you to...
Now the real surprise. This year was tough. This year was incredibly tough. Those were words that were probably said, I think probably in 2006, 2007. Again, go ahead a few years. This year was tough. This year was incredibly tough. But we made it through it. How did we make it through it? To my left, this lady, I know she's saying no, and she's going to shoot me. She is going to shoot me. Because right there, ladies and gentlemen, wasn't Hugh Avery. This is the lady that got us through it. You know, it's funny, people know Jerry Peckham, and well, they should, because he's done amazing things. People know Danny Lamoureux, and they should, because he's done amazing things. Al Cameron, does amazing things, and people know him. People will soon know Kathy Henderson, the few that don't already. She will do amazing things. People don't know who Pat Ray is outside this group. And I'll argue with anybody that she's done what she's done is every bit as amazing as what those other individuals have done. And it's a shame that people don't get to know her more. And she wouldn't have it any other way, though. That's just who she is. 2005 was a crazy time, and that's when I first met her. And if anybody was back in 2005, I know a few of you were back in 2005. It was not a pleasant meeting to attend, the 2005 meeting. But that's when I first met Pat. And from then, I think I'm a pretty good judge of character, and I knew from that point on that that was a person who had incredible integrity despite the stuff they were going through at that time. So Pat, last year at this time, a lot of people, we kept it pretty much secret. Pat was planning to retire, and I pleaded and I begged, and so you guys owe me a lot for pleading and begging for keeping this lady around. And she said she'd stay. And then, how long are you going to stay? Well, I'm not sure. So I think we've extended it to the maximum. And I'm not staying after September 30th. She's not staying after September 30th either. So Pat, we wanted to take this time, and I hope it's taped, because I hope the curling world sees this. We're going to honor you today for, and it's not even your retirement gift. It's not. It's not your retirement gift. That the staff will do that when she retires. This is a thank you for saving our bacon. Not once, not twice. And in fact, my friend to the right told me the other day, hey, Hugh, you forgot about this time. And so it's 3 times she saved our bacon. And so we want to, and without you knowing, we were really good, because we had meetings, this whole group here, and you didn't even know about it. And so we have a few gifts that we're going to give them. It is from everyone. The MAs, the EDs, the staff, the board, everybody is involved. It's from all of us. We want to show you our love for everything that you've done. So first, I'm going to call upon an MA president, the chair of the MA president, Sam, to say a few words.
Pat, I won't say too much. Nothing surprises me because, after all, many of you don't know that Pat is a graduate of Laurentian University, and so am I. So what she's done is not a surprise at all. So on behalf of the MA presidents, we want to wish you all the best. We thank you for your efforts over the past number of years, and we certainly hope you have a wonderful retirement. All the best. Thank you.
And next up from the EDs is Scott Braley.
Thanks, Hugh. I'm really here on behalf of Leslie. She had to go. She really wanted me to say a couple of words on her behalf. And honesty, integrity, consistency, you always did that for all of us. So pleasure working with you. And we particularly think of last October when you came into our room. I don't know if you'd been to one of our meetings before, and you just laid everything on the table for us that we needed to know, and we really appreciated it. And so thanks for all you've done for all of us.
Jerry Peckham, please come forward.
"25 years as an employee, and she's been there for every one of them, and Karen for the vast majority. Both welcomed me. And so in my assessment of Pat, which I get to do on a daily basis, she's the consummate family member. She's the omni-employee. And I was thinking to myself, what makes Pat so special? Why do I gravitate to her the way I do? Why do I need FaceTime with her so often? Why do I feel better subsequent to that? And how many times do I look down the hall and there's somebody else in that room engaging with Pat? As busy as she is, she has time for all of us. So she's where we go. I would say she's the matriarch of our staff. I've spent countless hours in her company, benefited from every moment. I have a profound amount of respect for Pat, as does all of our staff. She was an exceptional CEO on more than one occasion. So when I look at the essence of the woman, it's the core values that define her. Scott's comments, core values. And there's a lot of people in this room with core values, and we all benefit from having them. But I want you to think of how much others benefit when you share them. So to me, it was like when Pat got up in the morning, she took those core values and she put them into a bouquet. And then she took that bouquet to work. And then she handed them out to each of us as we needed them. And it's one of those bouquets that never diminishes because core values simply don't. So she could never be more caring, more understanding, more honest, more real, probably about the most real person. And you know, I was often sitting in my own office trying to come up with a solution for something, God knows what. So I'd walk down the hall and put up a virtual pie chart or some sort of graph, or take Pat down some pathway she had no interest in going down. But that's where I would go to find out whether I had a half-assed good idea or I just had my head half up my ass. And it was about a 60-40 split. You can figure out which way. Karen and Pat enjoy an exceptional relationship. I spent a lifetime trying to break into it, truly, because they both have absolutely world-class sense of humor and a sense of the ridiculous, and the ability to make each other laugh where they're both sitting there with tears rolling down their cheeks, and you want to be a part of that because it defines who they are and defines what Pat brings to our office on a daily basis. I've never seen her have a bad day. I've never not been met with a smile. The door has always been open. I have just to let her know I'm coming. So she's the consummate curling family member. She's the Omni employee. She's your best friend. She's a trusted colleague. And her bouquet, which is also her badge of core values, she wears, I'm sure, with great pride and dignity, but I just want her to know that that's not lost on any of us, right? Because that's, in fact, who she is. So from me to you, Pat, I'm going to miss you.
So Pat, we have a few things for you. So I'm going to get Karen actually to give a hand. But we'd like to first present you with this bouquet of flowers. Thanks so much, Pat. Okay. Thanks, everybody. As you are aware, the rules of the current not-for-profit legislation state that audited statements must be sent to the membership at least 21 days in advance of an AGM. To allow adequate time for the audits to take place, it meant the earliest time this financial business of the organization could be dealt with was early fall. Recognizing this was too close to the start of the next curling season to delay dealing with other important business items, it was agreed that the National Curling Congress and certain items of the AGM should be dealt with at this time of the year. Having now addressed the motions and other business in this portion of the agenda, I call for a motion to recess this AGM until it can be reconvened by conference call on September 30th, 2016, At that time, we will deal with the remaining items on the agenda, including approval of audited statements. May I have a motion to recess the AGM until September 30th, 2016? Susan, seconded by Scott. All in favor? You can put up your hand. Anyone opposed? Carried. We're recessed. Thank you.